Inheriting a house can be a blessing or a curse. The difference is in the planning, as there will be tough emotional and financial decisions to make when the time comes. Hi, I'm John Gigliello, certified financial planner with the Albany Financial Group, and welcome to my podcast, Invest in Knowledge, a podcast about all things financial. After a life-altering health issue at age 39, my calling in life became clear: to share my knowledge of personal finance with people who are looking to make smart and responsible choices with their money. Only through education, action, and accountability can you build the confidence and security that you need to live a satisfying life. So today I'm going to talk about what it means to inherit a house and how that can affect your overall financial plan. The inspiration for this episode came from a recent Wall Street Journal article reporting that inheritors are electing to rapidly sell their parents' homes rather than hold on to them for living, sentimental, or income purposes. Leaving a home to children remains a common way to transfer wealth. More than 3/4 of parents plan to leave a home to their children when they die. This is according to a 2023 Charles Schwab survey of more than 700 American investors between the ages of 27 and 95, as reported in the journal. Now, some children may be reluctant to sell for sentimental reasons, but finances and simplicity of unloading a property often win out. Nearly 70% of those who expect to inherit a home from their parents plan to sell it, the journal reported in the June 1st article. Deciding what to do with a family property is often both an emotional and financial decision, but currently the finances are ruling. The rising costs of renovations, property taxes, and utilities are just making it harder for adult children to hold on to the real estate. Higher home prices and mortgage rates have often also made it impractical for heirs to buy out their siblings. The high home prices of the past few years have made the decision to sell even more attractive. If inheritors can sell a house in a hot real estate market for a high price, the proceeds from the house sale can help secure their finances and fund other goals, such as retirement. Now, when you inherit a home, you have three basic choices. Number one, to move in. Number two, to rent it. Or number three, to sell it. So first of all, moving in. If you are currently a renter or looking to change your living situation, moving in might seem like a good idea and a wise financial decision. But it can be complicated if you have inherited a family home with siblings or other relatives. If you want to live in it and your siblings do not, you'll likely need to buy them out. This can be an expensive proposition in the current real estate market, with high home values and mortgage rates hovering around 7%. Likewise, if there is an existing mortgage on the home, the beneficiaries will have to satisfy or assume that loan. Inheritors who wish to buy out their siblings will also need to come up with a reasonable method of valuing the home. The family may decide to use the value reported on the estate tax return if it is recent, or they may want to obtain a few appraisals and use some type of average. If heirs are not in agreement, selling the home and splitting the proceeds might be the only option. Number two, renting it. If the heirs choose to keep the home and rent it for income, there are costs to consider there as well. Even a free home comes with costs, including maintenance, insurance, utilities, and taxes. Inflation has made some of the costs associated with homeownership unattainable for some. For some landlords, the time and expenses may negate any type of profit, or at least decrease the value of renting out the home. Also, the longer you hold on to a property for income tax purposes, the more likely there will be tax consequences when you do sell it down the line. More on that in a minute. And number 3, selling it. So that brings us to the option of selling the inherited home. The declining interest in keeping mom and dad's home is part of a broader generational trend among inheritors, the Wall Street Journal reported, explaining that some tangible assets are not considered as valuable as they were in the past, thanks in part to changing tastes. Renovation is expensive, and what one generation sees as on trend, the other may not. For example, the younger generation of beneficiaries may not want older traditional furniture. Instead, they may prefer the modern farm-style chic look. Inflation has made the cost of renovations impossible for some. When it comes to inheriting a vacation home or secondary property, the next generation is more likely to hold on to the asset, at least for a few years, as reported in the journal. If multiple family members are inheriting a vacation house, there needs to be a way to split maintenance costs fairly and create a usage schedule that works for everyone. Taxes are often the key reason many heirs sell relatively soon, the journal reported. A home's cost basis, which is the starting point for measuring a future taxable gain, resets to the market value on the date of death, known as a step-up in basis, according to IRS rules. Any increase in value after death is taxed as a long-term capital gain, and those rates are lower than rates on short-term capital gains. But if a home is sold quickly, there is likely to be little gain, if any, and therefore little to no tax. Even if you decide to keep the home for yourself, individuals who sell a home after living in it for 2 out of the last 5 years can qualify for an exemption of $250,000 for single filers and $500,000 for those who are married filing jointly. Beneficiaries should reach out to a real estate professional who can assist in determining the fair market value of the home, or to get an appraisal on the property to establish the inherited value. This can save trouble if the beneficiary chooses to sell the home or if they split the inheritance with other beneficiaries. Without proper planning, inheritances can be full of emotional and financial consequences. It is important to plan and to consult the appropriate advisors for tax, real estate, and financial questions. And there you have it, things to consider when you inherit a house. So thank you for listening to this episode of Invest in Knowledge. Of course, we always encourage you to take part in the financial planning process to help secure your financial future and in turn, feel optimistic and proud about your accomplishments. The next episode of Invest in Knowledge is right around the corner, so stay tuned and make it a great day. John Gigliello is a registered representative with and securities are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Private Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. Private Advisor Group and Albany Financial Group are separate entities from LPL Financial. The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. Individual tax and legal matters should be discussed with your tax or legal professional.